Hello students, this is our introductory session. In this introductory session, we are going to talk about some basic points regarding our subject environment education. As we all know, environment education is a compulsory subject in 11th as well as 12th standard. Total marks for this subject are 50. Distribution of 50 marks is 30 plus 20. 30 marks are for the project work, which is compulsory to all of you, and remaining 20 marks are for seminar or journal assignments. Now here students can choose either seminars or journal assignments for 20 marks, and the marks obtained will be converted to grades. So this is all about marks and the distribution. Now let us see how are grades given. If you get marks between 30 to 50, then you will get A grade. You will get marks between 23 to 29, then you will get B grade. Marks between 18 to 22 indicate C grade, and 0 to 17 marks, if you get marks between 0 to 17, then you will get D grade. Now here important thing is D grade indicates failure. D grade will be given to the failed students. If you do not submit your project and if you do not complete either seminar or journal assignments, then you will get D grade. So this is all about grades. Now in this session we are going to talk in detail about seminars, journal assignments and project work. So let us start with the seminars, but before that, one more important thing about the grades is the grade that you will get will be shown in your 12th standards board mark sheet. Let us start with seminars. In seminars, total 5 topics should be selected. In our 12th standard environment education textbook, 5 lessons are there, and while selecting your seminar topics, you have to select 5 seminar topics from all the 5 lessons, one for each lesson. So this is how you have to select your seminar topics. Now here students have the choice to select their own seminar topics from all the 5 lessons. Once you select the topic, then after you have to study the topic and you have to write seminar reports. Seminar work report writing should have at least one-sided, one page for one seminar report. As 5 seminar topics are there, therefore you have to write 5 one-sided pages for all the 5 seminar topics. Students have to write these seminar reports at the end of the December. You will get a separate schedule for completion of these seminar topics or seminar reports. In this schedule, you will get 1.5 hours to write your seminar reports. Now students should prepare for one of the 5 seminar topics and give actual presentation on the topic. You don't have to write seminar reports only. Along with this, you also have to give presentation on one of the 5 seminar topics. Means on one side you have to write seminar reports of all the 5 topics, and for actual presentation you have to select one of the 5 seminar topics. This actual presentation will be conducted at the time of oral examinations. Students can use charts, models or PPTs to have effective presentation. If you want to make your presentation more effective, more better, then you can use teaching aids like charts, models or PPTs. Such a kind of teaching aids help us to make our presentation more effective and more better. As said earlier, Actual presentation will be conducted at the time of oral examinations and in front of external examiner. During board's oral exam, internal and external both examiners are there. Internal examiner is from our own college and external examiners are appointed by the board. So you have to give actual presentation on one of the 5 seminar topics in front of external examiner, and therefore you have to give effective presentation by using various teaching aids. Marks for the seminars will be given according to the quality of writing and the quality of actual presentation. So if you want good marks, then you have to maintain the quality in report writing as well as in your presentation. So this is all about seminars. In seminars we have seen how to select the topics, seminar topics, how to write seminar reports, and how to give seminars presentation. Now let us talk about next part, that is journal assignments. Now here in journal assignments also 5 journal assignments will be there, but important thing about these journal assignments is here students cannot choose journal assignments on their own. Journal assignments will be given by subject teacher. Now 5 journal assignments will be there. As told earlier, our textbook is having 5 lessons, so 5 journal assignments will be there from all the 5 lessons, one for each lesson. So this is how journal assignments will be given. Now basically journal assignments are the application based questions. You will get these application based questions at the end of the lessons in our textbook. So while writing journal assignments, while writing answers of these application based questions, you won't get answers in your textbook. You have to apply the knowledge given in our textbook to answer such a questions. So this is how you have to answer journal assignments. Now these journal assignments are the application questions you will get in our textbook. From these, any 5 journal assignments will be asked. Now students have to write these 5 journal assignments at the end of the December. You will get a separate schedule for completion of the journal assignments also in the month of December. In this schedule you will get 1.5 hour to complete your 5 journal assignments. In journal assignments also you have to write one-sided, one page for one journal assignments. As 5 assignments are there, therefore you have to write 5 one-sided pages in journal assignments. There will be 4 marks for each of the journal assignments. As 5 assignments are there, therefore 20 marks are there for the journal assignments. Of these 20 marks, 10 marks are for internal examiner and remaining 10 for external examiner. So your journal work is also going to be analyzed, assessed by internal as well as external examiner. And let me remind you that external examiners are appointed by the board. Therefore you have to maintain the quality in journal writing also. Journal writing should be of good quality. If you want good marks in journal assignments, then you have to maintain that quality in journal assignments. So this is all about journal work. In this journal work we have seen how journal assignments will be given, how many journal assignments will be given, and how to write answers of these journal assignments. How many marks are there for each of the journal assignment. So this is all about second part, journal assignment. Let us move forward to the third and important part, that is project work. I think you all are well familiar with the word project. You might have done project work in primary or secondary schools. So let us talk about project work. So basically project work can be divided into 3 steps. There are 3 stages or steps of doing project work. First step is to select the topic. The basic step in project work is to select the topic. Once you select the topic for the project work, then you have to go for information. In second stage, you have to collect the information of selected topic, and once you collect the information, in third and last stage you have to write the project report. You have to present the information in prescribed format. So these are the three steps in project work. Let us talk about the first step in project work, that is selection of the topic. Now, first step is selection of the topic. Here, project topic should be related to the local environmental issue. Generally, students choose the topics like global warming, acid rain, ozone depletion. So these are the general topics from environmental sciences, and students don't have to choose such general topics because they are really very broad topics. You have to go for local environmental issues. Now, why to select local environmental issues as your topic? Because when you select local environmental issue as your project topic, you can think of your local environment. You can identify local environmental issues, and you can have mitigative measures. You can find out mitigative measures on your own to minimize such environmental issues, and you can prevent environmental losses by doing your project work. So this is why you have to select the local environmental issue as your project topic. Now, one of the benefits of having local environmental issue is sometimes you need to go to visit the study area to collect some information or to have some photographs, and when your topic is your own locality, you need not go far away to collect such informations or to have some photographs. So this is how you have to select the project topic. Now, once you select the topic, then you have to move towards second step, that is collection of information. Now, to collect the information, students can use any of the following research methods. Before going to research methods, let me tell you that a project work is a kind of research work. Though it is small, but it is a research work, and research work is always done with the help of research methods. Let us talk about the research methods that you can follow, that you can use to conduct your project work. Let us start. First research method is a survey method. Survey is a quantitative research method used to collect data from a set of panel or respondents. The data collected from surveys is then statistically analyzed to draw meaningful research conclusions. Second method is a questionnaire. Questionnaire is a research instrument consisting of series of questions for the purpose of gathering information from respondents. This method provides a relatively cheap, quick, and efficient way of obtaining large amount of information. Third method is interview. Interview is a qualitative research technique which involves conducting intensive individual interviews with small number of respondents to explore their perspectives on a particular idea, program, or situation. Here you can conduct interviews of an experts related to your topic. Fourth research method that you can use is experiment method. In experiment method, first of all, you need to collect samples and perform different experiments in a laboratory for various parameters. During experiments, you can note down observations and make your conclusion after analyzing the data. The last method is field visit. Field visit is a qualitative method of data collection that aims to observe, interact, and understand the people in natural environment. For example, nature conservationists observe behavior of animals in natural surroundings and the way they react to certain scenario. In our project work, you can use this method to know the actual condition or actual status of an issue by visiting the study area. So this is all about all the 5 research methods that you can use. Now here you have to use one of these research methods to complete your project work or to collect the information. Now once you collect the information of your project topic, then you can go for the third step, that is report writing. Here report writing should be in a prescribed format only, and therefore you have to follow the important guidelines while writing your project report. Project report must contain following points. In your project report, 7 points are there. As per these 7 points, you have to write your project report. Of these 7 points, first point is selection of the topic. Selection of the topic is for 2 marks, and here you can write 1 page back to back. In selection of the topic, you can write brief information about selected topic, such as why this topic has been chosen. Along with this, you have to write the concept of the topic, brief history of the topic, any new updates regarding your topic, and current status of the topic, etc. So this is how you have to write the first point, that is selection of the topic. Now, though the heading of the first point is selection of the topic, here you have to write introductory information of the topic. Now the second point is importance. Importance is for 2 marks, and here you have to write one-sided 1 page. In importance, you have to write environmental, scientific and social values of the selected topic. It means you have to write how is your topic socially, environmentally and scientifically important. So in importance, you need to mention environmental, scientific and social importance. Third point is objectives. Objectives are for 2 marks, and here you have to write one-sided 1 page. Objectives should be written according to the purpose for which project topic was chosen. So here you have to mention your purposes. Why have you selected the topic? And you can mention these objectives in points. Fourth point is methodology, which is very important part of the project work. Methodology is for 4 marks, and here you can write 2 pages back to back. As we have mentioned in the second stage, that is collection of information, you have to use any of the research method to conduct your project work. In methodology, first of all, you need to mention the research method that you have followed to conduct your project work, to collect the information. So first of all, mention the method that you have used, and then after you can write detailed information of the topic by using that particular research method. So this is all about methodology. Now the fifth point is observations. Observations are for 4 marks, and here you can write 2 pages back to back. In observations, collected information should be presented with the help of charts, graphs, etc. And observations should be concise. So in observations, you have to represent the collected information with the help of charts or graphs. Here you can also represent the information in tabular form. You can use flowcharts also to represent the information. So this is how you have to write your observations. Second last, sixth point in your project report is analysis. Analysis is for 4 marks, and here you can write 2 pages back to back. Analysis is an important step in the project work. Here you have to analyze the data in your observations, and to analyze the data you can use various statistical concepts like mean, median, mode, correlation, percentage, etc. Along with these statistical concepts, you can also represent the data in pictorial form, because a picture speaks more than words. So you can represent the data with the help of pie charts or histograms. Representation of the data in pictorial form helps us to understand the data accurately, effectively, and easily. So this is how you have to write your analysis. Now the last but not the least is conclusion. Conclusion is for 2 marks, and here you can write one page back to back. Conclusion should be written based on information obtained from analysis. So while writing your conclusion along with analysis, you have to consider all the other points that you have written earlier in the project report. Conclusion should be in a summarized form. So this is how you have to write conclusion. So here we have seen how the project report should be written, and in this whole session we have talked about the seminars, journal assignments, and project work in detail. Now, after knowing about seminars and journal assignments in detail, now students can make their choice what they want to select from seminars and journal assignments, and project work is compulsory to all of you. Thank you.